juice as I usually do today. But we do have some juice to go over.
I'm not mad at these questions.
You mess with them or what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I like them.
Heck yeah. What's going on, everybody? As y'all roll in, welcome. Let's get this thing started. I'm here in Houston live with Mr. Man and Mr. Aqua. What's up, y'all?
What's good? Yeah, right.
We just got to make sure that we're talking into the mics clear so that way the audience can hear us.
For sure.
Because I feel like when we were playing the recording back a little bit, it was a little low. What's up, guys? What's going on, everybody? As y'all pile and funnel in, welcome. I feel like this took a little bit longer today than usual because we were out chilling, getting groceries and stuff. Traffic was kind of crazy.
That's real. Getting us some fruit roll-ups.
Love from Switzerland. What's up, Artane? How do you say that correctly? Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Curie. Shout out to everyone. What's up? From Mr. Man. Hey, okay, we got somebody from Mr. Man's community. What's going on, everybody?
Good.
What's up, everyone? You don't feel strange holding a mic like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it, actually.
Don't hold it like the whole time. Like, put it down.
I like it.
Yeah. I like it. Like, normally I got the Yeti just sitting there and talking.
Hey, can you guys, can you all hear us all right? If you wouldn't mind giving me maybe like a thumbs up in the chat. Crypto Walls, what's up, Eric? I see you in there from the CyberX community. XRP for life. All right, cool. Can you guys hear us in the chat? Just maybe give it a thumbs up, muscle arms. We can hear solid. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate you guys. All right, cool. So we're just going to chat it up. Yeah, as people roll in, get the juices rolling. Open discussions today. Nothing real solid plan. We're just going to cover some things that I found driving down here to Houston. As you guys know, we're here for the XRP Unleashed event. And it's been really cool to fly out and actually meet these individuals in person because I've built digital relationships with them.
That's real.
It's dope. At the end of the day, I'm going to start off with this post right here. I'll share my screen in just 1 second, but myself and these two other gentlemen sitting next to me, constantly throughout our social media platforms, we convey a very positive message, not only in the form of research, but also in the form of entrepreneurship and networking. Now is the time, y'all, to tap in to utilizing the internet to benefit you mentally, physically, financially, all of the above, right? We're in an age of transformation, education, and information. And these two gentlemen sitting here next to me today is living, breathing proof that if you put your minds to something, if you put your best foot forward, you don't give up, you remain consistent and disciplined, and you set a solid plan in place in order to achieve a long-term vision, it can be accomplished. We're living, breathing proof of that. Okay, so hopefully that relays a positive message to you guys. Appreciate you all for tapping in. So yeah, how do you guys feel about that? I don't know. I thought that was a pretty solid intro.
That's super solid intro, bro. Yeah. And, we could have been traveling here, on a corporate America expense, but we're traveling here on our behalf because of our hard work. So, yeah, you know what I mean? It's amazing to link up with both of you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The energy is real, and, the vibes and frequency we felt through many StreamYard lives is real. You know what I mean? To be here live in action with you guys, it's just like, we've been meeting in physical reality this entire time. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Hey, you guys, let us know too in the chat if at any point in time one of us is like talking or something and we're not holding the microphone up to our mouths, because this is all a new setup for us, right? We're usually all, in our home offices doing recordings and creating content for you guys. Let us know so that way we can fix the audio. Okay, just in the chat, we'll occasionally monitor it. See that he said DG Dragon X said I can only hear CyberX probably.
How about now? How's that?
Oh, dang. How about now? Can you guys hear myself? I wasn't holding the mic properly just right now.
Yeah, we just got to remember when we're talking, we got to talk into the mic. Yeah.
I thought I left the whole rap world behind me.
It won't work.
Put that in my past.
But all right, cool. Yeah, so to touch on that, just to roll the conversation before we get into the deep research and whatnot and some of the video clips that I have to share with you guys today, I'll share a screen because I just posted this a second ago because I just had a moment. We were discussing and we were talking in the car after picking up these two dudes from the airport and just conversating and, further in our relationship. it's just crazy how COVID, right? Again, not to go into the conspiratorial realm of things, but COVID came about, and for a lot of people, especially in the crypto ecosystem, I feel like it was actually a net positive. At least that's the way I see COVID. It was something in my life that sparked my entrepreneurship and really allowed me to persevere what I wanted to do with my life, become a full-time trader and an investor, an entrepreneur. And a lot of people suffered during COVID because they didn't make positive mindset transformations. What do you guys feel about that?
I agree.
A lot of people chose the lazy route too. I was grinding, I was hustling, and a lot of people were just, collecting that loan or that weekly pay. Some people were making more than they've ever made off that weekly pay. So yeah, I mean, it to each their own, but I was out grinding during COVID. The freeways were empty, so I was loving life. What about you, brother?
I found it interesting going through COVID because I had gone through, I guess, several avenues in my life during that period, and to come out to see where I'm at now and what I'm doing in my life, COVID lit something inside of me that I didn't, I knew I had it, but to be where I'm at now with what I'm doing in my life, I'm thankful. It sounds messed up, but I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for the energy that it gave to me. That's what I'm thankful for, not for the event itself, but just for the energy it had given to myself to be able to sit here, chop it up with you gentlemen now, Cypress and I, we met first with Cypress, and he's my trading mentor. And then through that, I got to meet this man here.
It's been 2 years, hasn't it? It's been 2 years since we met each other. Yeah. There's a saying in a book that I like, that I relate a lot of my life to, and that I utilize in my daily life quite often. It's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Now, off the top of my head, I can't remember the term quote for quote, but just in general, it talks about how we should see crisis, or that every crisis comes with the equivalent and seed of equal opportunity. And so when you're in a state of turmoil or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is what a lot of the things that drive these markets consist of, when everybody else is fearful and everybody else is going one direction, be that person, that opportunistic person that sees the light at the end of the tunnel, or can see through the BS and capitalize on opportunities when others aren't willing to do so. That's the moment that we live in right now. And a lot of people are failing to see the bigger picture because they're so fixated on the now. They're so fixated on a short-term gratification, instant gratification mindset that we've been, literally inclined to believe is the fastest road to riches. And it's distorting people's mentalities. So I put this post out today, and I said the internet is a powerful gateway to transform your life, whether it's upgrading your mindset, expanding your network, growing your business, or creating wealth. To go off of COVID and what we were just discussing and talking about, COVID allowed me, after that traumatic experience and that whole entire debacle that happened with COVID, to really find myself. You guys became entrepreneurs during the peak of COVID too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I was coming off of an ayahuasca trip in 2019, so that literally just sparked a fire under me for life. And going into 2020, it was just huge opportunity for me. I was having a field day again. So,
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, so I first jumped into real estate. That's when I became an entrepreneur. When we first jumped into real estate, we purchased 2 properties. And that was 2018, so just before. And then it set me up. I had learned so much going through this. I swear to you, I shit you not, pardon my language, I became an economist during all of this.
You became an economist during all this. That's the truth, bro. If you don't study these things and understand how these fundamental drivers affect market conditions, you will forever fail at understanding or even being successful in these markets.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't understand conditions that sway liquidity into and out of markets, you'll fail because you won't understand what's happening in the markets in which you're trying to operate in to make money. Everybody that's in the markets is here to try and make money. What can you do to bring yourself an edge in these markets to actually make money, to be the one that's tapped into the information on the side of retail traders that are actually making money? Because retail traders come into this space, especially in crypto, and 90% of them, even the dollar cost averagers, are losing money. You don't want to be that type of person. Here at CyberX, via the information that we put out to the general public, information that Mr. Mann's put out to the general public, independently, the information on Mr. Aqua's profiles that he's putting out, it's showing people that there are entrepreneurs and investors in this space in crypto, the same markets you guys are all invested in, that are actually capitalizing on opportunities and making money. I mean, are you guys seeing that in the space? Like, what's your perspective on the vast amount of crypto enthusiasts and crypto influencers, not talking ish, but from someone who just comes into crypto, what did they get swarmed with? You were talking about this in the truck.
You know, they get swarmed with the front lines of, you know, the popular, most amount of subscribers and followers, you know, YouTuber that's basically just putting out their opinion and their opinion only. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But, you know, on one hand, there's nothing wrong with that. But on the other hand, there is something wrong with that, because if you're just tapped into someone's opinion all day long, you can be quickly flooded out. You're going off of someone's opinion. You know, you want to tap into real research. So, you know, when you get into crypto, you know, the first few months should just be tapping into maybe influencers to kind of figure things out. Because there's, you know, you got to admit, there's a lot going on in crypto. It's a lot to grasp, like, you know, the wallet ID, you know, it comes natural for us. But remember your first time hearing about all that, like, that was, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you guys. I was kind of like, whoa, what is this? It was odd at first, but then it became very natural. But yeah,
right now there's a war. There's a war for people's hearts and minds, you know, and crypto is one of the biggest, I guess you could say, distractions. But in a way, when you pick through the weeds and you find out the good and valuable information, you're opened up to real opportunity. Like some people that come into crypto, they think that it's an opportunity, but they're following the wrong information. They're getting drip fed bullish price predictions all the time, Fibonacci price predictions, retail trading pattern price prediction bullshit, and crap research or riddles that never come true and just manipulate the minds of people. And you have to be able to distinguish the real from the BS. And there is a path towards finding that. However, most people don't want to take that. And I said here because, well, first I said the internet, right? It's a tool to open doors for endless opportunities. Yet most people, around 90% of the population, spend their time on mindless consumption instead of harnessing the potential to level up their lives. And that is a physical choice. Like people choose, and you can see it. Look at the numbers, look at the views. The content that myself, Mr. Man, and Mr. Aqua share with you guys via the panel discussions that we watch, the bank documents that we share, all of this information, the LinkedIn profiles that we share, nobody's paying attention to that information. Barely, hardly any views, if any at all. Yet you go and you look at TikTok of a young millennial or Gen Zer shaking their butt to some fancy dance, and it has millions of views. You can see that what I'm saying is not a lie. It is truth. People are heavily distracted right now. And now's the time, independently, you all listening in, to tap in to valuable information and not be distracted. The people that are distracted right now, they're not going to come out on top like individuals like us. And I'm not sitting here trying to brag and boast, but the people that are tapped into the price predictions and the unrealistic expectations of these markets in the term of returns and just all of these things that are distractions, if you don't try to cut through that BS and flip behind and look behind a curtain, it's game over for you guys.
You know, I'm just thinking about it too. Like that type of like mindset of constantly tapping into that moon boy type of content, after a moment, you start getting exhausted from it mentally. And that's when like people are like, man, I've had it. I've been in this for 2 years now. Like I'm owed money, and they think that they're owed something. And it's like, none of these assets owe us anything. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I agree with what you're saying, like both of you guys are saying. But I mean, just looking back on my experience into crypto itself as a new person and reflecting on that, like what you guys are talking about, those are things like I had to go through.
You're right, bro.
I had to.
There's phases, there's levels to this. And in order to get past the BS level, the screen, you have to unfortunately lose and get where, you gotta risk it, bro. You gotta take the risk. You gotta be willing to take the risk. That's right.
Yeah, but at the end of that though, it's been beautiful though. Like once you get past that, like that again, part of my language, that shit, it's just, I can see beyond this now. What's actually going on? What could legitimately be?
I was just gonna say, crypto turns into digital assets at that moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I think too, bro,
Mhm.
that a lot of people, they don't actually truly understand what these assets, these digital assets can do. You see all of these, especially in the XRP community, know what you hold titles.
Yeah.
Know what you hold titles. It's going to be the next generation, whatever coin crap they talk about. Again, I have a firm belief in the future of the digital asset XRP. Don't get me wrong. It was one of the first that I invested in. I'm super bullish on it long term, but we have to be more realistic as a community in this space that's going through this transformation together. It's not all about price predictions. The technology is so much more important than a price prediction, y'all. Like straight up, the digital asset, and just using XRP as an example, is an asset. It can make you money every single day. And that was a feature that was initiated this year with the AMMs. And so right now we're in this phase where we have to shift our mindset. We have to go from this analog way of thinking, traditional investments, holding, hodling, holding on to something for 40, 50 years, and then it paying us in the long run. These assets are paying people now, and they can pay people now. And these institutions, and what I'm going to share with you guys today, they're going to want to use these assets to make them yield,
Facts.
And I mean, people aren't paying attention to that. They think it's a scam. What do you guys think about that?
A lot of people are just hanging on to like, oh, I'm gonna, like, I don't know. They in my opinion, if you're waiting for a price point, on some level, you're just treating this digital asset like a stock. And the reality is that decentralized finance is here to stay. It's the heartbeat of crypto. I mean, once you really start diving in deep into DeFi Llama and understand why Ethereum is the price point that it is, and the amount of liquidity that's locked up on the Ethereum blockchain, you know what I mean? All that starts to like really start to unfold, and you're like, yo, this is not a scam. This is why the institutions want to get involved. They want to earn yield. And the beauty of it is that we are on an even playing field now, like what Donald Trump says, and that talk track, even playing field. That's what decentralized finance is that they're not private liquidity pools that only the institutions have access to. No, these are liquidity pools that all of us have access to, and we can all take advantage. You know what I mean? So,
Bro, check this out. Watch. I'm going to blow everybody's mind. So some of the stuff I'm going to share with you guys today in the form of videos, just to tap into what we're talking about, because we made the switch. I didn't know we were going to make the switch to DeFi that early, but we're here now. So let's keep it rolling.
DeFi, baby.
DeFi is crazy, man. It's so insane that people don't think that this is going to be the future. Like, and it would behoove everybody, I stress it, to do research on it and just really understand that these assets, I feel stupid saying this now, I'm telling you, but because I know people's mindsets, when I say it, they're like, what? Why would I not sell my crypto for cash? What? Why would I not sell it for stable coins? What? But think long term, these assets, you don't have to sell. We're going to be able to use them to lend, to borrow, to provide liquidity with these assets. Why, even if XRP is worth $1,000? Again, after paying yourself for your initial investment, what's I plan to do so that the trade, the investment is risk-free. But after that, why, if XRP goes to $1,000, would I sell it when I'll be able to take that XRP, lend it, borrow against it, utilize it to provide liquidity? And hopefully by then, there's one-sided liquidity pools in XRP, and I can just provide one-sided liquidity, and I don't ever have to sell my XRP. I can make passive income off of it and just be my own bank, which is, again, something that we have access to in the now, but people still think that it doesn't exist. It exists. And even, you know what's even crazier is the BIS general manager, Augustin Karsten, I believe his name is, right? Mm-hmm. That's his name. He specifically said at a meeting this year that is what they're intending for this new financial system, is for every average single day person to be the center of their financial reality, right? That's going to be through the utilization of decentralized finance.
I was listening to a Bank of England conference. This was a few months back. And one of the things that...
You got to speak up in your mic.
Oh, you can't hear me?
You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Fuck, I lost
your
my train
voice
of
is
thought.
just really deep and quiet.
Okay. I lost
the
my
mysterious Mr. Man.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all good. When it comes back.
Interrupt you.
It's all good, bro.
All right, cool.
Run them likes up.
All right, so check this video out. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yeah.
Share this tab. All right, bet. All right, so check this out. Listen, so remember I was talking about the mindset shift, right? Listen to what this guy says here. Let me just mute my screen so it doesn't echo.
I think Kyle.
Again, we cannot see leakage. We cannot see breaks of billions of dollars. Back to the point made around institutional capital. Once institutional capital sees $1 billion lost, the financial ecosystem that we're talking about is done. And so security becomes a very big component of what will be a Bitcoin ecosystem going forward. And the last is mindset. Going from a store of value to a financial ecosystem, that is a mind change that we need to make. Being able to use your BTC, borrow, lend, yield, earn, and engage with it in some way, that is something that 46.5 million unique wallets and individuals that exist today in this ecosystem have to go through. And that's how we go from 46 to 100, and from 100 to 500, and 500 to 1 billion users in this ecosystem.
Mika regulations are coming out December 30th, 2024. And she's like, what the next Mika will be Mika DeFi 2.0.
Mm-hmm. So do you see though how, okay, so the reason why I played that video clip is because I don't like putting out information and having my followers think that it's something that I just brought to the table in the form of an opinion. What I want you guys to understand about the three gentlemen here sitting in front of you is that we base a lot of the information that we provide to the public based off of information that we're gathering from institutional players, from large enterprises, from large organizations. Like this gentleman here, he's from a large institution, and he was the one that just told you guys that right now there needs to be a mindset shift. There needs to be a mindset shift because of all these new technological innovations that are coming out, where previously in traditional finance and then the beginning in early days of digital assets, for many, there isn't and has never been a stable and solid DeFi ecosystem. Outside of Ethereum and a couple of other networks, DeFi is relatively only oriented to a few blockchains and networks. I mean, it's growing, obviously, of course. I'm just talking about like a couple of years ago, it was only ETH, right? And you can go see that with the TVL locked on DeFi Llama right now. I'm not making this up. I mean, if we could show you guys, but I feel like it'd be a waste of time. If you go look at DeFi Llama right now, ETH has the biggest DeFi ecosystem, in terms of TVL, right? And now for the first time ever, like literally in the last year, I mean, Stellar is starting to have a DeFi ecosystem. We're starting to see gears kick up with XDC DeFi ecosystem. XRPL DeFi ecosystem is going to be freaking massive. They promoted the crap out of that this year, which we've never, as XRP holders, really seen an initiative from Ripple to push the DeFi ecosystem. And they brought the terminology institutional DeFi to the table this year. You know what I mean?
Facts, bro. And I paid close attention when David Schwartz was on stage, and the AMMs, XRPL AMMs are quite beauties. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to really start learning more about is the continuous auction mechanism that's going to basically mitigate impermanent loss. And that's only going to be on the XRPL. I don't know, again, who else is going to have this technology built into their chain, but the fact that XRPL is doing that as well, I feel like it's gonna be massive. But yeah.
One of the things I noticed, again, because you were saying in terms of TVL, total value lock, that which is all in Ethereum. Well, one of the things that I've seen is different ecosystems are now connecting in and tapping into Ethereum. Like Swift is doing that, tapping into Ethereum, utilizing Chainlink for that. You have the XRP ledger working on a new like that Pearson's bridge to tap into the EVM bridge itself to tap into Ethereum. At that point, like they can tap into Ethereum's DeFi ecosystem, right? They can now have some money flow into the XRP ledger itself. I mean, the only way for these ledgers to capture money is to go where the big boys are, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I mean, so here's DeFi Llama, right? And I mean, I know that I feel like this is like beating a dead horse, but just to show the people that might be new.
What's the total value locked right now?
It's 107 billion.
It's 107 billion now?
Yeah.
So yesterday it was at 100. So.
107 billion here you guys can see. And on Ethereum alone, 60 billion of that is just on ETH, bro.
No, I know.
So that means that there's only $46 billion out there in TVL locked in DeFi that's not on ETH.
Facts.
That's crazy. So just think about that when, we're sitting here and we're like, all right, y'all need to pay attention to DeFi. Look at soy. Look at soy right now, one of the best performing assets of this year, traded from 50 cents. I mean, it was lower than that at some point in time this year, but we were buying it at 50 cents, surged to $3 plus. And look at all the developments that they had in DeFi this year. I mean, massive. They partnered with Copper to provide institutional access to institutions for DeFi, right? Look at that up. I'm not making that partnership up. I mean,
they got a gaming device coming down.
Arrow, bro, Aerodrome, freaking Arrow, the native asset for the Aerodrome DEX, skyrocketed this year, bro. Went from freaking 50 cents all the way up to $1 plus. And so what's crazy is, you know, we're here and we're like, XRP is about to have a granular DeFi ecosystem, and we're seeing how all of the other DeFi related niche digital assets performed. And honestly, in the DeFi niche, those are some of the best performing assets, low key. And it's because the incentive for individuals to come and stake on the platform, or come and provide liquidity, or come and lend, or come and borrow, or come and do whatever DeFi allows you to do, drives incentives. And that incentive for yield drives demand. And that is coming to a lot of networks and blockchains that have never had that before in this bull market. That's why I'm like so bullish right now on digital assets like XRP outside of the payment niche.
Yeah.
I know y'all are paying attention. Like, speak on that real quick, because people can't just hear it from me.
You know, I'm thinking about it too. Out of that 61 billion that's deployed on Ethereum, how much impermanent loss did they endure, you know, for X amount of time or whatever? And once, you know, whatever that number may be, right? Once these same holders that are on Ethereum find out, oh, we can go over to the XRPL where there's the continuous auction mechanism where I'm going to have less impermanent loss, and it's faster
and cheaper
in fees.
Come on now.
Like, you know what I mean? So writing's on the wall, if you ask me.
Honest to God, the people in the XRP community, or just the ISO token community in general, I understand why that community is less likely to adopt DeFi, and it's because we haven't had access to it. But just like you heard the gentleman on stage just now, if you're just now tapping in, I just played a video clip of an institutional investor telling you guys you need to have a mindset shift. It's because, again, I'm going to play video clips so you don't think this info is coming to me. These institutions, they're coming, and they're coming to DeFi, especially considering that the search for yield is going to start to significantly increase as we head into a low interest rate environment. Major central banks all across the globe right now started to usher in rate cuts this year. Wake up, people. Like central banks are the ones that create the liquidity and outflow liquidity in these markets. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, they are the central banks, and they're moving right now. And that shift, again, we as retail investors have to follow that shift. So, I mean, you know, I'm going to show you guys proof, though. I'm going to continue to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to play these video clips. So check this one out. Yo, this one is clutch. Did you guys see this?
No, I haven't seen it.
So Stellar Development Foundation, let me share my screen so you guys can see. You guys think we're making this up, you know, and then boom, I've been saying XLM's DeFi ecosystem, well, Stellar's DeFi ecosystem about to go crazy, going bananas, especially considering that isn't the use case for Stellar XLM peer-to-peer? Yeah. Right? It's like peer-to-peer payments. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah, definitely. And then their AMMs have another feature. I forget. Don't quote me on the title. It's like XLS. Maybe that's something. Don't quote me on the title of it. But they have a feature on their AMMs where they're going to have liquidity, where there's like 5+ digital assets in that one liquidity pool.
Well, think about this.
Like a basket. That's
legit.
So isn't Stellar's good?
I was going to say, which platform is that?
No, that's the capabilities of XL, like the Stellar blockchain. So we're going to end up seeing that being built out.
Isn't their whole slogan, you know, bank the unbanked? Isn't that their slogan? Okay, so check. I mean, I'm not saying that's their slogan, but they stand behind that, right? Yeah. Bank the unbanked. Right. So imagine all these.
I think they're more on financial inclusion, isn't that?
Okay, financial inclusion, putting people that are not in the banking system onto the banking system through digital adoption and digital integration technology advancements. All right, so think about it. I've said this before, right? The people in Africa right now, in the lowest, and I'm just using Africa as an example, lowest income earning area in Africa with a mobile connection, our mobile device and an internet connection, have the same access now to this new digital financial system as somebody in Malibu, California, with the mobile device and internet connection. And XLM opens the door for the opportunity for you to take your XLM, and while you're just holding it, to utilize it for payments, you can earn yield on it, or you can provide liquidity with it and earn fees off of it for people trading your XLM, or you can lend, you can borrow against it. All of that stuff is going to come natively to the Stellar blockchain in the near future. Why on earth, if like
there's one now too. There's a project that's called Afrium, and it's a project geared towards banking, different rural areas in Africa. So yeah, it's happening now. You know what I mean?
It's just the thing that stresses me out about this market sometimes is like people don't have a long-term vision, and you have to get the term digital assets. Like we are headed into a digital economy, and people are so fixated on selling these digital assets now for profit, for again, short-term gratification. If you don't see the bigger picture, what this world is going to look like beyond 2030, I feel bad for you, like low key. If you don't have that type of long-term vision, because all of the stuff all the things that are materializing now, the regulations, the infrastructure that's being put in place, the foundation that's being laid right now for these large-scale institutions to actually come into this space, all of that isn't going to really, really, really impact these markets until 2027 and beyond, 2028 and beyond. And that's a fact. Stamp me on that. It's happening right now. Don't get me wrong. But it's going to take time, people. And so this short-term instant gratification mindset that a lot of people have when they first come into crypto, unless you're a day trader or, an active DeFi investor, when you're investing, it should be long-term vision, because that's when the real life-changing wealth is going to come into fruition. And it's, go ahead.
Facts.
I mean,
no, I was going to say we should, but I know you want to show this video, but we should talk about just, the different reports that you've tapped into and showed the people, and, just what we know about AI's capabilities and what's coming and why you're even saying that as well. It's like, this is a really big
transformation.
Transformation. Great. Yeah, exactly.
It's not
transformation. You're going to get sucker punched if you're not paying attention to like culture. So culture's going to sucker punch you. Like the way we live in the next decade is going to be
completely different from the way that we live now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fact. And too many people, like I said, they're not fixated on, because it seems like let me put it this way. It doesn't seem like it could be reality. It doesn't seem like a reality where cash doesn't exist could even be something that comes into fruition to somebody that their entire lives has been so used to cash. You know what I mean? It's like convincing someone of change is not how you get that person to change. It's actually putting them through something that requires them to change. And that's the problem, is right now the traditional system is still operating perfectly fine. And so when you go up and you try to tell somebody, yo, the financial system's freaking changing, Visa, MasterCard, all these payment providers that you know and use every day for your coffee, yo, they're adopting blockchain, buy up these cryptos, y'all get into it. You seem like a crazy person.
Yeah,
that's why it works great with like the African communities. They're a younger generation and they tap into this stuff quicker.
They do
much quicker.
Come to find out, we're not the crazy ones. They are integrating these technologies 110%, bro. And so many people, because they just don't care. They literally don't care. Nobody cares, bro, if they go up to Starbucks and swipe their card, how that payment processes in the back end. As long as they get their freaking frappe, mocha, coppa, lappuccino, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was never a thought in my mind until I finally went down the crypto rabbit hole myself, to be honest with you. Like it wasn't something, like I wasn't just laying down at home, having a dream, like, you know what, I want to try to figure out the banking infrastructure. Just because, it was something I want to
figure out the banking infrastructure.
Just on a Wednesday, and
I've thought about that as well.
Babe, how was your night? Oh, I had a strange dream. I started piecing together this, this infrastructure with these cryptocurrency things.
Cheers.
Like it doesn't. So, to be able to. You learn so much.
Yeah, that's what it takes, bro. It takes the willingness to want to break out of your comfort zone and experience something new. Like the people that are stuck in their comfort zone, consistently just watching bullish moon boy price predictions and dollar cost average videos and think that they're going to survive long term, just hodling for the long haul. Like you may survive in some aspects, but you have to be adaptable. things now in the DeFi and crypto ecosystem are going to change next year and the year after that and the year after that. The strategy that you use now is probably not going to work in 2 years from now. And you have to be able to accept that and willing to change and adjust if that's the case.
You got to be adaptable. Yeah.
I'm telling you guys right now, I've been in these markets for 9 years, and I can tell you right now that the strategy that I use now, it might have similar aspects and similar rules and same risk management, but I've had to adjust to the conditions, whether the markets are bullish, whether they're bearish, what I'm doing with my capital, how I manage it, how I move it around, all of those things. If you don't remain adaptive and competitive, because you're going up against people like us who don't mess around and other people with more money than us that don't mess around, you will not survive. It's just,
you'll get humbled real quick, man. You'll get humbled very quickly.
Where am I going with that? Tap into individual researchers like myself. You know, I get the whole, there's paywalls to join our discords or buy their mentorship programs. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Education and valid information, show me where it's free, because it ain't. And that's just the dang truth.
You're getting a solid experience is what you're getting, you know? Like, I mean, to be able to talk the talk, like this is coming from a place of, we had lived through it ourselves, you know?
I mean, not only that, but you're getting connections with, I mean, if you come into my community, you have connections right away if you choose to connect with them, six-figure investors, millionaires, individuals with over 13 years of trading experience in my community. That's not free.
Yeah.
You know?
Not to mention you're getting
accuracy.
Hundreds of hours of just complete research, reading, deep diving into different PDF documents, watching, 3-hour long conferences. You know what I mean? Like, all of that right there, like nobody sees that. They just, the stuff that we gather from it and we give back. But what we give back are those gems. You know what I mean? So if you're grinding 24/7, just think of it as like we're doing the research for you type of thing. You know what I mean? But yeah.
All right, let's check this video out. So this is from the Stellar Development Foundation. They posted it 11 days ago. And just to solidify what I was saying earlier, this video has 174 views, y'all. You see this?
Yeah, I was watching this one. Yeah.
Man.
Nobody is paying attention. Even the people, think about it. Even the people in the XLM community, Stellar community. Why aren't y'all watching this stuff? This is juice right here. I'm talking about this video should have thousands of views. It's disappointing being an XLM holder and knowing what we're going to be capable of in the future with our XLM. Disappointing that not more people know this. And, as motivating as it is for me to be the one to watch this stuff, to sit through these painful ass videos, 30, 40, 50 minutes long, sometimes even hours, 2 hours long, to just find little tiny gems for you guys. I understand why y'all aren't watching it, because this shit's boring. But the little juice that these people drop in these panel discussions, man, y'all got to tap in, because they're priceless, bro.
Yeah.
Priceless information that you won't get flooded out when you have these type of gems. You know what I mean? In your arsenal of just brain memory.
So check this out. This is a video clip, and the gentleman or whoever the lady is that asked the question they talk about what do institutions ask about DeFi. Another video clip is they admit that they're teaching institutions about DeFi. I got another video clip where it confirms, the gentleman on stage confirms that institutions have their hand and are touching DeFi. But like, bro, institutions want to earn yield.
Yeah.
So we're going to play these video clips, and I just want to confirm to you guys, this stuff is not coming from us. I'm not the one sitting here saying, hey, the banks are coming. No, the banks are coming, but there are some things that need to be met, for that to be achieved, and that's happening behind the scenes. So don't be impatient. Understand that this is all unfolding at a rapid pace. And so why not scale and learn how to get your digital assets working for you now so you can have more digital assets?
Like, I get why some people wouldn't, though. Don't get me wrong. I'll play the opposite side of this.
Play the opposite side. I want to hear it.
Because, when you've worked as hard as you can potentially work to save, to work, to save and invested in these things, and then to be at the mindset where you're not necessarily ready to, because it's a different hurdle. Like trying to figure out what DeFi is and trusting it, and it's in a place where you could legit have the next Sam Bankman-Fried DeFi.
But what's stopping you from doing education though? You know what I mean? Like
nothing.
I get not deploying because you're nervous, maybe you're scared, maybe you're fearful, or maybe you're just not ready. I get not deploying, but there should be no reason why 900 people listening in to this audio right now, if you don't know about DeFi, should get off of this call and start taking an approach to at least educate yourself on the possibilities that you have to leverage your digital assets in the now. You don't have to go and deploy, but there's no excuse. What excuse does anybody have to not educate themselves? I don't have time. Bullshit excuse.
I agree with you, yeah.
Bullshit excuse. Oh, I don't have access. If you're on this call, you got access because you're on the internet right now. So there is no excuse, you know? There is no excuse. It's time for education, and it's time to stop. We were talking about this in the car. I want to hear your take on it. The old influencers, I feel like the ones that are just constantly Moonboy, Hopish this, price predictions this, RSI indicators this, that crowd, people are starting to slowly shift and realize this is the information that really matters. What's your take on that? Do you guys see that happening, or even something that could happen further in the future?
Yeah, 100%. They're going to tap into the information that matters, because this is, you know, these markets are playing for keeps. This is real live money at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, you know, we ain't got time for opinions. We need the real true information.
Again, it's going to have to be something you got to go through yourself. I remember when I first got into crypto, I legit started at Moonboy price predictions. I was like, fuck, I'm going to be like rich tomorrow, part of my language. I'm going to be rich tomorrow type of thing.
Yeah.
Then I kept going next week and the week next and the following week. And my wife is like, well, I thought you said we were going to be. I'm like, yeah, it's supposed, I don't know. I don't know how to explain this.
That stuff's garbage, man. When you separate yourself from that and that crowd that only follows like riddles and bullish Moonboy stuff, and you start to really tap into the good stuff,
it changes, man.
It really does change you.
Yeah.
It really does change you. All right, so check this out. Listen to this. This is going to be the first video clip, the what the institutions ask about DeFi. So let's just take a second and listen, and then we'll input our rhetoric after we play it.
That's part of the exciting part that we're at now.
And what would you say is the main question you get from institutions wanting to get into DeFi? What is the big thing that they want answered from you when they're thinking about the space?
Do you want me to start?
Yes, yeah.
I think top of mind is security. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I was in New York with a collective called Liquid Collective. We publicly announced a standards and control, a certifications that basically aimed at filling the gap that exists today when it comes to staking and operating validator nodes on many different chains. That is the gap that you have in terms of certification. So SOC 2, SOC 1 exists, ISO certification exists, but when it comes to best practices in terms of security, going back to your question, there's a gap in the space, and that's the certification that Blockdaemon, Figment, Kraken, Coinbase, with the help of KPMG, PwC, have put forward. It's this certification that allow us to, instead of filling out 700 questions during RFPs, basically say, here is how we manage data, how we manage funds, how we manage private keys, security compliance processes that we have in place. It's a way to speak the language of institutions who wants to interact with blockchains and these types of decentralized protocols. And I think this is the kind of standards and controls that institutions ask us a lot about and want to understand, and are really, really getting a lot more sophisticated now today.
Does anyone?
So I just want to highlight two things that he said. First, he said institutions want to get involved. So him speaking on this confirms that behind the scenes, banks are coming to these individuals to get into DeFi.
100%. They're having conversations with them, sit-down conversations, whether it's lunch, dinner, and that's how he's able to speak to this, period.
So that's why I wanted to play this, so that way you guys understand that this isn't something that the mainstream is going to broadcast to you all. This isn't something you're going to see on Cointelegraph, a headline that this gentleman just indefinitely confirmed institutions are behind the scenes talking about integrating into DeFi. They want to know about DeFi. Right?
I'm here laughing right now because during Thanksgiving, I was talking to my uncle, and he's like, well, tell me about crypto. What is crypto? And I started going into what crypto is. He's like, okay, well, how much did you make? I'm like, that's really irrelevant how much I make. He's like, well, how much did you make? I'm like, well, there's different strategies when you talk about crypto. Like, you want to know how much you made in terms of price appreciation on the asset? Or are you talking about DeFi or from lending? And he's like, no, just how much did you make? Like, you have Bitcoin, how much did you make? I'm like, oh, like, bro, I'm like, there's a whole other world that you just, I don't even know how to begin to start talking to you about this because you're not even in crypto itself, you know? So if you're already in crypto and you understand crypto, you're going to have a hell of a easier time trying to figure this out than if you don't even know anything about crypto, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I like what Shannon said here. She said we're talking about the people and shifting away from legacy YouTubers because they're becoming increasingly aggressive. We went from do your own research and now it's shifting to if you don't believe me, you're stupid.
Literally, I got attacked by that type of mindset just yesterday. I'm not going to say this person's name, but that mindset right there is what attacked me. So
File the appropriate.
All right, so check it out. So here's a video clip of them talking and discussing about how they're teaching institutions about DeFi. So just take a second here and listen.
Bit of regulatory filing to go with this. Like, do you get a lot of questions like that? Is that something you can teach firms how to deal with?
We do. And you get a spectrum of clients. There are a lot of clients who are dabbling in it for the first time, very conservative, TradFi institutions. And yes, there is that element of education. I mean, there was a quote I came across recently. Somebody said that sometimes to people participating, especially to a more conservative institution, it feels that the world of DeFi feels like they are using a technology that they don't fully grasp to participate in paradigms they don't understand, right? So that kind of sums up sometimes how people on the outside feel. But to Ben's point, with that education, when you pare away the lingo and explain it to people, these are familiar constructs and they see through it.
Yeah, Ben, do you want to elaborate on?
Let me hear your comment on that because you laughed. Fill that in. Fill that gap in.
This is what I was just talking about. Like trying to tell this to my uncle who doesn't even understand crypto, but when you peel it away, it's just like this is the easy concept of what it actually is. You know, like the way I'm telling it to you and explaining to you because I'm trying to teach you crypto and DeFi and other things to help you understand the concept of how a bank operates. It's like it's difficult, but then when you just say, "Well, this is what it is." It's really, really simple.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, in the traditional realm of things or just in normal everyday lives, most people lack financial literacy. So, I mean, for them to not only not have time because of everyday distractions in our everyday lives, like our 9-to-5 job or our kids or family or whatever, you know, they hear about crypto and because they don't understand it and they don't have time to understand it, they put it in the back burner and never return back to doing deeper research on it. All right, so here's another video clip, 12 minutes and 30 seconds in this where they talk about institutions touching into DeFi, putting their hands in DeFi. So just take a second here and listen.
Systems. Like, wow, why not? That's an incredible time to be building.
But are there markets problems that DeFi can solve as well, Gaetan? Like liquidity?
So actually, if I can, you were asking about advanced questions from institutions when it comes to DeFi, and it made me think of an example which is very recent. A large US asset managers came to Blockdaemon and asked questions about active set of public blockchains. I won't name names. Stellar was one of them. And the question about active set is fascinating to me because I think 3, 4, 5 years ago, I don't think these institutions were asking about, okay, what are the risk mitigation processes I should consider, if not even put in place, when I want to interact with blockchain, public chains. And now they're looking into the nitty-gritty of, okay, who are the operators? How are the block produced? What is the MEV practices on that chain? Really questions that seems really pointed and a lot more, again, advanced, to take the terms that you used, than what we could hear 2, 3 years ago. And I think it just reflects as an industry how now institutions are getting into not just dabbling into blockchain and, you know, actually the question is not how institutions are adopting DeFi, it's how they navigate it, right? And now it's really about navigating it versus are they touching it or not? They are. They're already interacting with it. And I find that this example was kind of a reflection of the sophistication.
I feel like, do I need to play anything else that he just literally said? Are they touching it or are they not? No, they are touching it. That's 110% proof right there. Again, that the mainstream is never going to show anybody 174 views on that. They're touching DeFi.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen some pretty hefty wallets out there that are involved in DeFi, making a ton of money in DeFi. And I just always ask myself, who with this type of money has this information that they're tapped in, making this money? And I look at it like possibly institutional, personal money behind the scenes.
What are some of the biggest numbers you've seen of individual positions in DeFi locked in liquidity pools?
There's a wallet right now that you can go on the Crystal app and view with $1.3 billion in it.
$1.3 billion, bro?
$1.3 billion.
Nah,
the
Crystal?
majority of the pools that it's in, USDT and Ethereum.
I gotta check this up. I believe you, bro, 100%. If it's not 1.3 billion now, it's up there,
Yeah,
for sure. So again, the question is, who's got 1.3 billion dollars that's tapped in?
exactly.
That's an institution, bro. That's a private family office. That's somebody large.
Mhm.
Watch, go to Hot Pools right here.
Hold on, hot pools. Hold on, let me share my screen with
And
the
then
team.
Top Wallets.
Share this tab instead.
Top
Where?
Wallets down here. That tab right there. And then go down. We should be able to see what the top wallet has. Hopefully, it's the one that it probably is. Look at TVL right now, and DeFi is large. So,
How do I look at the?
oh
the
wait,
value?
no, that's the LP value. So the highest one right now is 151 million. But I did see 1.3 billion on there at one point in
I
time.
mean, yeah. I just wanted to see
This
what the
does
highest one did
change,
you see?
so-
I mean, still
but-
at the end of the day, bro, who's
It's
got
still
151
151 million exactly.
earning 118% APR?
And if you click on it, a majority of those pools
That's
that
nice.
money is deployed on is Ethereum. And it makes sense on, the TVL as far as Ethereum right now.
That's crazy, bro. Do that monthly math. How much is 118% and how much you making per month on 150 mil?
That's good
I'm
money.
gonna do that math. Oh, dude, he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month.
Literally.
Per
Real
month.
good money.
Chilling.
Per month. That's insane. Anyways, that's exactly what I talk about. Like how we can utilize DeFi not only in the now to scale our wealth, but I had a conversation about this with the crew the other day. Like, what do you guys plan on doing? I'll ask you this question first. And it's, what is one aspect about DeFi platforms that you see changing or that needs to change in order to see more mainstream adoption? Like people like your uncle being comfortable in the form of the interface or whatever for them to feel comfortable utilizing
It has to be
blockchain and DeFi.
It has to be extremely user friendly, and it has to be put into terms like English words that's really simple to understand. Because again, if I describe it to you, it makes sense, right? But then to tell someone who really doesn't know anything about this what it's actually going on,
Yeah. I would say it just needs to get a lot user friendly. It needs to be as simple as an Apple charger or an Android charger as far as hooking it up. You know what I mean? Right now, there's 100 different wallets that you can use. And, the smoothness of it is not all the same just yet, as well. So there's just a lot that really needs to come together to make it just, super user friendly, like you were saying.
Yeah,
Mr. Matt.
I agree. One aspect I think that I would change or enhance, or I would like to see enhanced or changed, that I think is going to bring a lot more people into DeFi is insurance. Like being able to insure your money, or to some extent, even if it's just like FDIC insurance, which we all know the scam and that whole thing is. We're not going to get into that, but just some type of insurance to know that if this platform goes bust or something rug pulls, some of my money, if not all of it, is insured. And I think that once insurance enhances and we see that infrastructure in DeFi enhance, and there's more insurance options and, different whatever platforms are offering those types of solutions, that's going to be something where people are like, oh, okay, this isn't as risky. Pretty much just like this gentleman said, he talks about how banks right now, what are they doing? I wrote this down just now, when the risk mitigation. Banks are fixated on risk mitigation. How can they get into this space and mitigate their risk? That way it's not the riskiest asset class when they're involved in it. Right. Because just like he mentioned, they can't put in $1 billion and lose that. He said
it's going to be done.
It'll be done if that happens. They're done. They're not going to do it again if that happens. And so you know, that's why I think, based off the research that I've done, once we see insurance in DeFi, that's when I'm going to be like, oh, okay, it's about to go bananas.
Yeah, facts.
You know,
like a FDIC insurance type of thing. You know what I mean? Like how your
some
money,
type of regulated insurance would be really cool to see in DeFi. So I'll ask another one. So we talked about DeFi going mainstream, but just in general, what's one piece of, I guess you can't call it advice because we can't give anybody advice. What's one thing that you would mention to somebody just about DeFi in general that they can either utilize now or think about in the future, but something maybe that a perspective that you might have had about DeFi or about getting into crypto in general in the beginning days that you've now changed that you would give to somebody?
That I would give to someone? DeFi, when you think about it and pull back some of the layers and what it can and can't do, I think it's honestly pretty cool, because I had seen an interview with, what's his name, Mike Pompliano, or I don't remember his name, who it was, but he was discussing what electric vehicles will be able to do and be capable of, and the fact that they'll be utilizing stable coins integrated within them. So if these vehicles have stable coins within them, in terms of money moving continuously between vehicles themselves, DeFi is what's actually going to be utilized. So if I'm the vehicle here, and the vehicle is driving itself autonomously, and there's another vehicle over here, but you need to get in front of them, this vehicle autonomously using IoT will connect to this one here, and they'll begin to negotiate potentially financially.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
that's
you're gonna have those
100%
DeFi
happening.
interactions between like autonomous things.
Dang,
now.
when you said that, I had to
AI.
process that for a second. Like,
I was visualizing it, to be honest with you.
I got stuck for a second because I felt like I was on the road for a minute in a dang car getting paid for somebody to move over lanes.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. Yeah, that's crazy that that's
Like
happening.
that's micro payments right there.
And aren't they doing that in some parts of like China right now as well, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't know. I'm not sure if there have been. I can see that there has been.
Because even like with
pilots, that
law
makes sense.
enforcement, I've heard that like they'll ding your account in China. Like if you break some sort of law on the road, they'll ding your account.
Dude, you're not going to be able to avoid paying anything in the
Nothing.
future, bro.
No, yeah.
They're going to get taxes on everybody, bro. Can you imagine when it all becomes really, truly transparent and digital on the blockchain?
And you're going to pay for it instantly. Like right now, you get a ticket on the road.
Probably direct deposit sucked right out of your account.
Exactly.
When-
And just debit it right out. Boom.
When universal basic income is employed deep in when they usher out these CBDCs.
Probably see a virtual digital judge and shit.
Let's
right after you get it.
do it.
I knew you were going to say
Let's
something.
do
I
it.
knew
We
I was
have
going to
to.
kick you.
We gotta have this conversation. Yeah, we gotta have it.
Yes.
That one hit differently, right? You know, when you hear something and you're like, okay. So is that something you legit seeing happen? Because I mean, when I go down the rabbit hole down here, I can totally see that world existing, you know, without a doubt. But at the same time, maybe because I wear rose pink glasses or something, you know, I'm like, okay, I understand we're going to go through that, but I more see the end result as opposed to the pain and whatnot that we're going to have to go through to get down there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. It gets so speculative. Like, yeah, I think a black swan is going to happen. That's going to usher all that in. We were talking about that in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see no other way for them to really truly usher in this digital economy unless there's a demand for it, another push like COVID. We all know COVID enacted this digital transformation, or at least accelerated it. I mean, I literally have documents from large scale institutions that talk about this. Look, if I type into this McKinsey & Company document, who is a large consulting firm, Command F, I don't even know if it does, but let's just see. This talks about the decline of cash, right? Well, I guarantee you it talks about COVID enacting that. I'm going to go off a whim. Yes, it does. Look. All right. So in card dominated markets, says right here, such as the United States, where cash transactions represent just 5% of the value of consumer payments, cash usage will continue the gradual decline initiated by the COVID-19 pandemic. So I knew that this document was going to say that, bro. But the thing is that the reason why I know that is because this is not the first document that I've read that in. You know, this digital transformation, bro, was 110% enacted by COVID. Now, I'm not making that up. This is from McKinsey & Company. It literally says it. The gradual decline in cash is initiated by the COVID-19 pandemic, right there for everybody's eyes.
What's even like cool too is that they openly talk about this.
Yeah, they
stuff.
do.
They openly talk about it, and if you're listening, you're
This is public information.
Yeah, most people think if you say this to most people, remember go back to my post that we started this off with, bro. 90% of people, the internet to them is just brainless swiping, brainless misuse of information.
Yeah.
This document will never reach the mainstream. Nobody will really truly ever digest and read this one little tiny statement. That's what we do here at CyberX, bro. That's why we're tapped to FN. You know?
Yeah, bro. That's some real. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That like this drops the mic on anybody that thinks that what I just said is a conspiracy theory, because nobody here has the credentials to argue McKinsey and Company.
Yeah. Nobody.
So
Zero conspiracy.
you know, and it's only going to continue to accelerate, bro. This fucking chair is squeaky as hell. But I agree with you 100%. All right, let's play this next video clip. But oh wait, did we finish that rabbit hole, or did we talk about? Okay, hold on, my projection, right?
Which one? What?
The projection about the ushering in of CBDCs. We can go down that rabbit hole, but I mean, you know, what's your take on it? How do CBDCs get ushered in? How does this digital push happen in Mr. Man's eyes?
In all honesty?
Yeah, in all honesty, speak
Okay,
it up to the mic, bro. Let's hear it.
Okay, so let's do this. My speculation was, and I got this part wrong, but we'll still see where life leads. I figured that Kamala will be getting in, and with Kamala getting in 2025, the hype building up around that, I'm like, there's no way this is going to be a fantastic money year. There's no way. I don't see that being the case with where inflation was going at that point. And now we're living through the rollback period of that as inflation begins to ease. And I'm using air quotes when I say this, inflation begins to ease, right? As we have a president who's going to be in. And again, I take no sides on left or right. I'm neutral. I listen and I learn. I have my own market projections on it. So, and now that we have said individual who's in there, who's a businessman, he's a real estate businessman and loves money, right? That's what capitalists do. They like money at the end of the day. So now with him being in there, it's interest rates are much lower now. People are going to have an easier time getting access to cash again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and where we're going through right now, like if Black Friday's coming, people are going to go and want to spend stuff stupidly. We got Christmas coming. They will borrow money they don't even have.
Can they hear you in your mic?
To go and do that. Sorry. Okay. Then we have tax season coming around again into next year. I'm thinking, okay, they're going to go and spend and spend and spend again. I'm thinking after all this spending, you're going to see something come out that'll just destroy people at that point.
Yeah. You think optimism has to be wiped clean one more time before we go mega bullish?
I legit do. I mean, if you're in real estate, like if you remember the 2020 COVID buildup, like people were locked down, they're at home. It's like, well, what do you do? I don't know. Let's go and renovate our property. We'll spend some money renovating this house here. And then you saw the increase of real estate build, and people kept buying and flipping and buying and flipping, and the price of real estate went up and up and up. And as we're making now a new higher low, if we're talking about charts, we're making a new higher low in real estate at this point here now, because interest rates are rolling back again. We could be in an environment where we have that build up again. People feel confident that, you know what, interest rates are low. If I don't get something now, I will never get into the market.
Yeah,
that's a mentality that people have. But I'll never be able to afford it. So they do that. And imagine like how people are living now, like trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And then if inflation goes out of whack again because that buildup of real estate happens, and then you see these central banks begin to collude again and say, okay, inflation is getting way too rampant. It's out of control. We need to spike those interest rates to account for the inflation, the 2% inflation that they are trying to be in control of. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So you think that we're going to see another spike of inflation, and we're going to see another central bank shift in monetary policy that's going to lead to a Black Swan event?
I do. I definitely do.
Okay. I could see it happening because, I mean, at the end of the day, I was doing research on Trump's policies and things that he's bringing to the table, and some of his economic policies could actually cause the inverse of what, Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve has done. So, fought so hard to bring inflation down. Some of his policies could reverse the decrease in inflation that we've recently seen over the past, year and a half or something like that. And it could be something that leads the Federal Reserve to either push back rate cuts or hike rates again, and, higher interest rates or a prolonged higher interest rate environment does tend to weigh on risk assets.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, if we see some type of shock on the scale that I feel like it needs to be some type of geopolitical escalation or tension in the form of war, or some type of thing that it's not just central bank focused. It's something so granular like COVID where it hits every jurisdiction. That's what I think needs to happen. What that's going to be, I can't put my finger on that, but I just personally don't seeing them usher in all these new technological advancements. Like, I mean, over time, yes, but CBDCs in particular, because there's so many people that are resilient to them, that don't want to adopt them and don't use them, or don't want to use them, which there is a very large portion of the population are actually against CBDCs. That means usually, based off of historical data, that they're going to have to usher it in forcefully. And the only way to do that to a population is by creating a demand for it, a demand that the general population can't necessarily see or know that they're being demanded or forced into it. They're going to make it seem like it's
you want it.
Yeah, like it's
you wanted it.
Oh, you know, like it's going to be like a freaking, and again, I'm just speculating. It's got to be like a cyber attack, or it's got to be like the electrical grid goes down. And remember, they're testing offline CBDCs, right? So maybe everything goes offline, the grid goes black, shit gets catastrophic. Again, worst case scenario, hopefully, God bless, that doesn't happen. I know it would be catastrophic. Loss of lives would be insane, but still, that's the only way that I see them forcing it to people, is making it, oh, okay, hey, everything else is black, but guess what? If you still have a mobile connection, well, you can come to our government facility, charge your mobile connection, download this app off of our Wi-Fi or something like that, and then we'll give you some universal basic income through CBDCs offline. You know, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's granular speculation type shit right there, but still, it's like, I don't see them just waking up one morning and being like, hey, everybody, today we're going to use CBDCs, and everybody being like, okay.
I mean, unless they had some sort of like amazing incentive for people, you know what I mean? It was like $10,000. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Come turn in your cash for us to
all of this type of advertisement would need to exist prior to the CBDC even going offline, or them. If I think about it logically, prior to the central banks even doing this large scale test, if you will, because people would have to know that it's going to be going online. Like you and I know it. I can go and talk again. My same uncle, go and talk to my uncle about it. And first thing he says is, "What's the CBDC?" You know, like it's not the digital dollar yet. It's not the digital. It's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just an acronym that's being used right now until they finally finish these projects and everything's wrapped up and buttoned up, and it's now, here's the name, here's the US dollar.
I mean, as speculative as that scenario sounds, something I think we're correct. Albeit nobody has a crystal ball as to what that catalyst is going to be. There's going to need to be a catalyst that is ushered in that further pushes the masses to adopt these digital assets. That is a fact.
Yeah, that's real.
I mean, we could speculate it on all day, and I'd love to hear everybody's opinion about it, even the viewers listening, what your opinion is on how they usher in CBDCs, artificial intelligence, all these digital assets. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just speculation. We can all agree that to some extent, whether it's a positive catalyst or a negative catalyst, something big is coming.
Yeah, I could feel it.
You know, something big is freaking coming. And it's a wave that I think a lot of people are not prepared for because they're just not taking the educational steps necessary in order to do so.
Can I just intervene there?
100%.
I see two texts now, this level 1 project. Have you guys heard of this thing?
Nah, just make sure that what we're speaking into the mic, because I don't know if people can hear us properly. What is level 1?
I'm not sure. I see 801 XRP twice. Said level 1, level 1 project. What's that about, man?
See if we'll drop some info in the chat.
Yeah, please drop some stuff. I'm sure it might take you some time to type it all out, but like we'll keep talking.
Yeah.
But definitely drop some knowledge on that. I haven't looked into that or even heard about it yet. That's new to me. Oh, you know, it's just me here.
My bad. I've been traveling all day.
No.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
To fly out over here to Houston. So yeah, I'm on a limited amount of sleep, and yeah, just thriving off of fruit jerky over here, as you guys can see. But yeah,
that was mine yesterday, man. Because before I had gotten here, I had a 5.5 hour trip to Winnipeg first, and I had to drop off my car.
I think your mic is muted, or no?
Yeah, it's been muted.
Oh, okay, never mind. My bad.
How said I had to use that one there with this one here?
Okay.
Yeah, because it echoed there. Yeah, I had to drop off my vehicle at a dealership to go get looked at because I feel like the clutch is like making this whirring sound when I have the clutch pressed in.
Yeah.
So drop it off there, then catch an Uber, and I stayed at the airport, man.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
I stayed at the airport. Yeah, I figured it'd be something decent to experience and Shit was rough, guys.
Yeah.
It's bad. Yeah. There's nowhere to sleep, and you're just up all night as people walk. The lights are on. So I finally caught my plane the next day.
Okay.
And it took, that was what, 4 hours in there first, and then another 2 hours afterwards. And man, that was long. When I finally, and I had to make a connection, and I had like 20 minutes in between to make that connection. And I hadn't eaten all day. Yo, that was rough.
Yeah. I can't think correctly when I'm hungry sometimes.
Oh, here we go. 801's dropping some knowledge here.
Who dropped some juice?
What are you saying? The Level 1 project is a project that works with stakeholders to implement low-cost payment systems for the world's poor. The project's goals include creating open source software assets such as open APIs and module loop supporting stakeholders to build and expand real-time retail payments initiatives, scaling low-cost real-time retail payment systems at a national and regional level. Nice.
Who's behind this? Like, what is it? Is there any like blockchain organizations or anything that is involved in this? Or is it just like who's behind the Level 1 project?
You know, there's so much.
What chain does it sit on?
There's so much taking place in crypto. It's so difficult to keep up on everything taking place, you know? Like, it's nice to have connection. Like, it's nice to have you guys. I can just say, hey, what's going on? And you tell me something that you know that I'm like, I've never even heard of this.
And there's so much action going on all the chains. Like, go and look at the base chain ecosystem. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Optimism.
Yeah.
There's just so much, you know?
That's another beautiful part about DeFi is I feel like it's opened up a new door of opportunity, like assets and projects and things that you could do with digital assets that I didn't even know, all available through DeFi. I mean, it's crazy. It's
Just
really
liquid
crazy.
staking alone blew my mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like staking, everyone knows what staking is, but liquid staking?
Where you don't have to lock up your assets for a time period. It's phenomenal, bro. Just earn yield on them. And you know what I saw the other day? I don't remember where the post is. I'd have to go through and look at my bookmarks, but I saw the post that was like, oh, I don't want to stake. Number one, because you can't stake on cold storage, which you can.
Yeah,
you can.
And that there's lockup periods. And then just to go off what you said, like, there's platforms out there like Exodus that you shared in the chat the other day where you can stake your XLR and you can do it through your Treasure wallet, which is a cold storage wallet. And we can earn 8.75% APY on our XLR, which I get, you know, to some people isn't a lot. It's more than traditional finance, mind you. And then this guy that I was just showing you video clips of from an institutional perspective, he's from Black Demon, which is an institutional staking platform, and they can only offer, or they only earn 7.25% APY on their XLR.
Dang.
Yeah. So, I mean, I showed that in a video. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but
And you know, not to mention though too, when you stake on the chain, it strengthens the chain. So just a heads up.
improves security, all kinds of stuff, bro.
does.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this post right here, now that I've had it up for a minute, it's just an individual. So I said, it's not researchers telling you this anymore. This came from Steve Vallis. He's a managing director at the APAC Blockchain and regulatory committee member of the Canadian Blockchain Consortium. And look at this LinkedIn profile post right here. He said the banks are coming, right? Look at this. Managing director at Blockchain APAC, you know, I
When did
mean,
he say this? Oh my
just a week ago.
God. He said the banks are coming.
straight up, bro. Like, it's not,
Go back. Let me see that.
it's right here.
Oh.
It's not coming from researchers anymore. You know, it's coming from people with actual credentials in this space. And like, look how
And
small that.
stable coins rule, like perfect timing for real USD stable coin.
Zoom out a
Right?
bit. Let me see that.
It's right there.
That's
You know, this
Wow.
is straight on his LinkedIn. LinkedIn's got some juice, man. LinkedIn, I'm so happy that the CyberX researchers put me into LinkedIn because LinkedIn is the shit, bro. Look at this LinkedIn post right here. This one's clutch too. Just to confirm, this is from Standard Chartered Ventures. And it says, institutional imperative catalyzing the next wave of digital asset innovation. Talks about this whole entire event that just took place. And it says, overall, there was a strong consensus that institutional adoption is inevitable. Look at this little backdoor event. He ain't getting no, you know, mainstream adoption and attention here. This is directly from Standard Chartered. Look at the top.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're sitting behind the scenes talking about the next wave of digital asset innovation and adoption. I think it's so clutch, man. This stuff just intrigues me because when I see fundamentals like this, and then I see a pullback in the market, and at the same time, I'm like, hold up. Opportunity, because these banks, they'll be at these events talking about crypto, and I'm like, yo, how is everybody screaming crypto's dead, crypto's a scam, and all these banks are at panels talking about crypto?
Man, what a time to be alive and be tapped in with crypto and digital assets, right?
It truly is, bro. It truly is. I think I had 2 more video clips to play back from that video that we were talking about from the Stellar Development Foundation. By the way, the title of this video clip is actually How Institutions Can Navigate the DeFi Landscape.
Yeah.
Straight from the SDF, Stellar Development Foundation. So 23 minutes goes on to talk about how institutions want to earn yield. I'll play this real quick.
Earlier, what is the institutional interest in blockchain infrastructure like staking?
What is the interest in
Blockchain infrastructure like staking from institutions? How many institutions are saying we want to touch staking?
So I think pretty much everybody dabbling in assets that can be staked wants to stake, right? Nobody wants to hold an asset that can earn additional rewards or additional sort of yield by staking it, right? There's obviously a risk in it, and there might be some institutions that constitutionally cannot do it. But that aside, anyone holding a proof of an asset that's sort of on a proof of stake chain wants to, we pretty much want, any client with that kind of asset wishes to stake it, I think is the succinct answer to that. So there's a huge demand, and we only see it increasing. Like even with products such as ETPs, there are now staked ETPs, for example, right? So just like money, it's quite a familiar concept, right? Just we hold money in bank, and even when we're holding it, we want that interest. We want to put it to use. We want something to be done with it. And I think it's the same applies in this world as well.
Priscilla, that's a solid clip, man.
Give me some feedback. Run it.
Yeah, bro. Like these institutions are not getting these digital assets to just put it on a cold storage wallet and just look at it, you know what I mean, in the back. No, they want to put these digital assets to work.
I'm trying to tell people, bro.
Period. Like they're digital assets. They're meant to get to work on these AMMs and earn us yield in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. And it's not just, this type of financial stuff. It's going to be, it already is. It's real estate. It's going to be movie tickets. It's going to be, the tickets to your favorite concert. You know what I mean? Like,
they're flipping aircraft tickets too, man.
Everything, bro. With Algorand, bro. Algorand tokenizing aircraft tickets, all kinds
your
of stuff.
season tickets to whatever game you're tapped into, whatever, if you're into that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
It's to the point now, like this is coming from an individual representative from Zoidia Custody. Literally just told you, go look at the clientele list from Zoidia Custody. He just said, all of our clients want these staking solutions. All of our clients want to be earning yield on these digital assets. So why would you not? He literally said word for word, you can do it in the traditional system. You wouldn't hold cash for no reason and not earn yield on it. I mean, even in your bank account, when you have cash, it's a very small yield. Don't get me wrong, embarrassing compared to DeFi, but you still earn yield on it, right? That's what's happening right now in DeFi. So remember what we were talking about, how everybody's mindset, XRP holders especially, because they're the ones that attack DeFi for some odd reason. Hard, bro. Yeah. Hard.
Super hard.
XRP holders are like, I don't want to use my XRP. I'm going to lose it. No, silly.
Yeah.
No, silly goose. That's not how this works. There are risk mitigation tools that you can utilize. Or instead of utilizing your XRP, you can utilize another network, another chain. For example, I use Base, and I have a massive Base DeFi portfolio, and I use the earnings from my Base, swap them for XLM on Coinbase that then can be swapped for XRP. So you literally use the Base chain to buy XRP through DeFi, So I mean,
many ways you get so creative. That's the beauty of DeFi. There's no one way of doing things. There's so many different ways of doing things and so many different strategies that you can implement. And I look at my digital assets. The way I look at my portfolio is maybe 50 plus different digital assets in there, right? And I look at all of them as future cash flowing machines, period. So, yeah.
I actually want to play a video clip. So Hardlight, I believe Hardlight, are you one of Mr. Mann's followers? I believe you said earlier, but he said XRP Army needs to wake up to DeFi, right? Okay, so if you just tuned in, I played a video clip a second ago of an individual institutional representative from Black Demon mentioning that there needs to be a mindset shift from hodling your digital assets to how you can start to get your digital assets working for you through lending, providing liquidity, borrowing against your digital assets. Well, shout out to Hardlight for saying XRP Army, wake up to DeFi. Let me just find this video clip. I'll let you guys continue rhetoric while I find this clip real fast. But it's an individual, this one right here. An individual representative from the institutional space saying how DeFi brought utility to ETH. And so every time they talk about and mention this in this video clip that I'm going to play, think about this in terms of XRP and XRPL, how they're seeing growth in the DeFi ecosystem. And if DeFi brought utility to ETH, what do you think is going to happen when institutions and all of Ripple's partners who are going to want access to DeFi because they're institutions, like this gentleman just said, Zoidia Custody, who partners with institutions.
Right.
So Phil, your take on that. What's going to happen to XRP if the DeFi?
Got Monica Long herself, the president of Ripple, saying the same thing, that their relationships with institutions are considered DeFi relationships. And she also said that the real USD stablecoin is going to strengthen those relationships. So this is all about DeFi. And think, back on what is it? The continuous auction mechanism. I think DeFi money is going to want to get behind something like that, as opposed to something that is not helping you mitigate impermanent loss. You know what I mean? Especially if we're talking billions and trillions of dollars. So yeah. XRPL is.
I think people that are still only doing research on XRP's capability to be utilized in cross-border payments is sleeping on the full potential of the digital asset XRP.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
And that's a statement. That's a quote right there. Like, if you're still watching influencers on the internet that aren't teaching you about DeFi or telling you how in the near future you're not going to have to sell your XRP. You're going to be able to lend against it, borrow against it, provide liquidity with it, do other things with it. God knows. I mean, like, the sky's the limit. Like, there could be other things that we could do in the future with our XRP. Who knows?
It's still so young.
It's
man.
still so early.
Young.
To have this idea that you're going to sell it for fiat is so, that mindset. I just don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's just,
like there's a lot of like DeFi platforms right now that in some shape or form resemble each other. But I mean, once this area becomes prime and ripe with newer concepts and ideas, it's gonna take up into a whole other realm. And again, let's go back to that paradigm shift. It's going to become something that we can't even conceive of what it is right now.
Like, so many people want money, but I'm literally telling you that you don't have to sell your XRP in the future to make money. You're going to be able to use your XRP to make that money that you want so bad. You don't have to sell your XRP. And I feel bad for people after this next bull market cycle, especially if we see one like a blow off top in altcoins in 2025. Granted, I mean, I've already said this. I've come clean about it. I'm going to at least sell my initial investment. But anything further than that is illogical to me, because I see this market in a granular scheme of things 2030 and beyond. Can you imagine, bro, looking back at 2035 and you're like, dang, I sold my XRP when the market cap of crypto was 5 trillion.
And I thought that was big.
Oh my gosh, bro. You're going to feel so sucky, dude.
Yeah,
sucky, bro. Like,
I think people, you know how they say some people come into your life for, a season or for a lifetime? I think most people come into crypto and their relationship with crypto is like a season. They're just coming in here and waiting to get rich, and then they think they're going to be out. You know what I mean? And it's just like that type of thinking is backwards. You want to come into crypto and then transform your mind that, oh, these are digital assets. I'm going to create cash flow with all of these.
Turn it into a business.
And I'm going to turn this into a business. I'm going to make this part of my, estate for my family, my family trust. And I'm going to pass this off to my children when it's my time. These assets are, man, I think we're not even able to wrap our minds around how precious these assets are.
Heck no,
you know what I mean? Like,
they're literally the juice. They're literally the blood of this new digital economy. They will be they will be the blood running through the veins of this new digital economy, regardless if you believe it or not. I mean, I can sit here and say, trust me, but it will just take you to do your own personal research to see that these digital assets will be so monumental in the future when it comes to how this economy and this global economy is going to run efficiently and effectively. And like this gentleman said, you earn yield in your normal traditional bank account right now. Well, institutions, they know that. And so they know that they're going to have, if they want their traditional clients with billions, millions, and thousands of dollars to migrate over to this new digital infrastructure, there needs to be incentive. And where is that incentive going to come from? DeFi yields. It's going to come from yield.
100%.
Right?
Liquidity.
It's going to come from, so, you know, if you can't fathom that, then again, this lack of understanding of the traditional financial system carrying over to this new digital realm, and that's not how things work. Remember, this new traditional system, it's not meant to replace the traditional system. It's meant to enhance it. Mm-hmm. It's meant to offer pretty much the same traditional financial, you know, what we've had over the past 100 years, but then to make it faster, cheaper, more transparent, again, to enhance it, you know, so.
Thanks.
All right, so this is the gentleman talking about how DeFi brought utility to ETH. So just think about this when he mentions DeFi and how this is going to bring utility to Bitcoin. Remember, they're not going to tell you at this BTC Fi, Bitcoin Finance event, they're not going to talk about XRP, but let's just replace all the digital assets that haven't had a solid DeFi ecosystem and replace for what he says about how DeFi is going to bring utility to Bitcoin. Think about that in terms of XDC or XLM or XRP. Think like just, it's mind blowing what he said.
What I can see here is that the journey Bitcoin is on right now is very similar to the journey ETH was on a few years ago. Mm-hmm. DeFi actually brought utility to ETH, right? Now, if you're holding ETH, you can lend it, you can borrow, you can stake, you can do so many things. I think what you're seeing today with Bitcoin is the start of this. But the great thing is that you can learn from the experiment that the Ethereum ecosystem had, right? The DeFi ecosystem. So now we're going from a place of knowledge instead of going from a place of discovery. So I really look forward to see how this all shapes up. Now, we have two ecosystems today, right? We have the DeFi.
Right. Yeah, bro. You know, so he's literally talking about how we're going from a place of knowledge to a place of discovery because the DeFi ecosystem in ETH is already mature. Trial and error has already been there. Now they're just enhancing it. And the DeFi ecosystem and all these other chains and networks is going to continue to scale. It's going to be so crazy, bro.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely massive.
What do you think looking back? Just not a bullish Moonboy price prediction, but just in the next, let's just say 5 years, how much TVL do you think we look back and see in DeFi?
In DeFi, I think we'll be in the trillions for sure.
Yeah, 5 years from now?
Yeah.
$1 trillion TVL locked in DeFi?
Minimum, 1 trillion, minimum.
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a good outlook.
Minimum 1 trillion?
In 5 years? Yeah.
I mean, bro, that's a 9x, right? From where we stand, or 10x from where we stand.
See that.
And you got
5 years? I could, you know what? No, what of a lie. I could probably even see a bit more.
Is he going higher? Are you going
I
higher?
could totally see more than that. I think we're totally undershooting.
No, we are.
Because again, we were like, I was just talking about tapping into DeFi with autonomous vehicles. And 5 years from now, like people think the technology is great right now. Wait till you see where we're at in terms of 5 years. Like technology is moving so fast.
5 years from now, it's going to seem as if we move 20 years into the future.
Yeah.
That's how fast technology is.
And then like every single, like Toyota, like for example, like Toyota in the future, all the cars are uploaded to the chain. So all the value of the brand new ones are uploaded to the chain before someone buys it. You know what I mean? But the value of that car is still there. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's going to get really, really wild. But like the TVL is going to get, what is all the money too, by the way? What type of, are we past trillions when we're talking about all the money?
Yeah, quadrillions.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe even more than quadrillions, but it's definitely in the quadrillions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, that's a future that gets too extensive in my personal opinion. I think that's going to take time. But could we see, you know, I don't know, 50 trillion, maybe 60 trillion in our lifetimes? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that, I mean, because all of us are in our 30s, I think that by the time, well, a little bit older than that, but, you know, I think that in the next 20 years, looking back, seeing 50 trillion minimum TVL locked in this space is plausible.
I think so. hear me out, and this isn't me being extremely bullish.
Mhm.
This is just me talking from some of the conferences I listened to, and they all talk about potential for having a TVL, and our assumption is somewhat into the trillions as well. But I could honestly see more than that, because I was listening to this conference where they were talking about, I think it was Bulgaria. And again, I'm reflecting on 2 years back now in terms of information, and they were talking about they had gone through an epidemic, and they saw the yield, and they were digital, and they saw the yield come down on the charts, and then he said the parabola went back up immediately, and he said in the first 2 years the spike that they seen was like nothing they had seen before in terms of data and tracking, and I'm like, holy.
I agree. I mean, to an extent, I just feel like putting a time horizon on it, but trust and believe, I think that it's going to be a multi-trillion dollar market eventually. But in our lifetime, I guess in a sense, if in our lifetime where it's going to directly affect us, like
with the right Black Swan event, they can do
maybe.
all of it.
Maybe
serious liquidity is going to be injected right into that, man, immediately.
I still think in general people are thinking too short-sighted, because of YouTube and because of Twitter and because of influence. People are so fixated on instant gratification, and this market right now is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to transform your family's bloodline forever if you play it right.
Yeah.
I mean, already I'm at a point in my life right now where over the past 5 years since COVID and all of this enacted, I'm set, like straight up solid, built a skill, crafted a digital skill and a digital business.
Facts.
So many people are just sleeping on the way things are going to unfold in the next couple of years. This physical reality that we know and love so dearly all over the globe is going to slowly start to deteriorate, and things are going to become more and more digital, and we're going to start to migrate as a population. Mark my words, this video right here, this little 30-second clip of me saying this is going to age so well. We're going to be locked into a digital environment, whether we like it or not, in virtual reality. As sad as that is to say publicly to you guys, I'd say looking at 10 years from now, everybody's going to be tapped into VR in businesses, in banks, in freaking large institutions and establishments. VR is going to be integrated into the lives of everyday people, just like cell phones and mobile devices are. Straight up.
You've seen that the BBVA has their
their government meetings in the freaking metaverse. And another thing to tap onto the Black Swan event is I think that something's going to happen that's going to push people to want, because life outside of the metaverse is so miserable, to push people to get into the metaverse, to push people to get into this new digital reality that they're creating, like Ready Player One. The reality sucks so bad that people want to escape from that and they want to go digital.
Facts.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
I mean, and then they're low key doing it right now. I mean, think about it, like the setting that we have right now, everyone tapping into us right now, and then like Zoom calls too, for example. Just think about if everyone can, instead of going on a Zoom call, everyone is in the metaverse in like kind of like a real life form. I don't know. That just seems even more fun. I think they're going to make it, it's going to be really enticing. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? The new technology has me, curious, and I want to tap in with some of it. So I know it's going to be really, really enticing. That's for sure.
So I don't want to make this sound grim, but I'll give my outlook on this too, in terms of things and people not being able to, I guess, keep up with what's going on here. Recently, what we're going through, and I've heard this a few times now, and I played a video a couple of weeks ago during the session that we were in. Timer sunset. Okay, yeah, we were in a session, and the guy was talking about, I think people just breezed past it because they were blown away by this guy talking about we're going to have like the woolly mammoth coming back, we're going to have flying vehicles, we're going to have cure for cancer, we're going to have X, Y, and Z, Rosie from the Jetsons coming back. But one of the things he said is that we're going through right now with the pandemic of loneliness. And this is something that people don't recognize because like it's too polarized and out there right now that people don't necessarily care about the other side,
Yeah.
So with the election just happening now, you have two clear, distinctly different sides. And if you're not on this side, you're making fun of that side. If you're not on this side, you're making fun of that side. And you're putting your, I don't want to say this wrong, but you're potentially putting a target on yourself by following like the narrative.
Yeah.
So for instance, if you're a person who's shaving your head, and again, I don't want to sound bad and like I'm trying to put this down, I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Shaving your head, wearing the blue because you have that identity in the community. I feel like you're gonna put a target on your head for things
Yeah.
where you don't need to.
I like this post from Vendel. He kind of agrees with, I guess, what we're saying, but he said, I've been warning about the next Black Swan event. I think people are celebrating too soon.
Yeah.
Anything can happen between now and Trump's inauguration. I think it'll be after that, but these unexpected engineer crises follow cycles, and I agree.
Yeah, facts.
110%.
I totally agree with him.
Like I said, I think something's coming. It's speculative for us to base our opinions on what that all could be or what that could look like. But bottom line is, the opportunities now. Even if we did see a Black Swan event that ushered in some crisis that completely tanked crypto prices, I still see that as an opportunity. Not financial advice, but I mean, dang.
Dude, you said the opportunity is now too. Like, it's all still, at the end of the day, even with all the research that we look at, it's still like kind of wishful thinking to be like, all right, XRP is going to get to $100 or $1,000. We don't know that. You know what I mean? So to just bank on that when you have DeFi as an opportunity right now, where the average yield APR is, anywhere from 20 to 50%, like, why miss out on that? Why not create a strategy where you can build your wealth starting now, starting in a bear market, pay yourself a small salary in a bear market, and wait for the bull market to come, and that's going to be your 4-year bonus. But DeFi is an opportunity to create, streams of income and yield right now, even in these times, whether it's, green market or red market, there's opportunity for you.
I mean, if I can just add to that too, when you think about it logically, if we talk about DeFi and talk about XRP is an XLM, the everything currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of crypto asset, in terms of fiat money itself. So if DeFi, so for XRP to be able to logically do something like that on its own, to be able to swap into any currency, in our real world itself, that would not need to be tapping into artificial intelligence and DeFi platforms itself to initiate those things at such a high measure when you think about it logically. So if XRP is one of those assets that's used at a high velocity to trade, imagine the flood of PVL that can actually come flooding into that when you think about it logically.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like people are, I feel like because we've been so fixated on XRP being utilized in the payments landscape by influencers and Twitter enthusiasts over the past consecutive couple of years, and we've been inflicted into this hodl mindset, people are lacking their own ability to tap into what potential we are going to have in the near future with these digital assets. Like DeFi and what you have through the utilization of these digital assets in this new digital ecosystem opens up so many opportunities. Like, you really, truly, if you do it right now, you could replace or supplement portions of your income through not only the digital assets that you already hold, but just by taking capital that you might have sitting dormant in a bank account and deploying it into DeFi and earning passive income. I mean, never before has a normal person had that access outside of the last 10 years. We've been in this traditional realm of things where in order to get a stream of passive income in the traditional financial realm, you've had to have large scales of capital.
Yeah.
You've had to pull out loans. You've had to literally put your life savings into investments for mere 5% yields, maybe max, whatever percent yield. It's nothing like DeFi. And so many people, because you can go and earn 20, 30, 40, 50%, which again, at the end of the day, it's high and it's risky. Don't get me wrong. But so many people don't believe it's real. And it's like,
yeah.
Right now you have equal access to this new financial system. And yield is not something new. Yield is old. Like, yield is as old as money itself. People want to have and earn on their digital, not on their digital assets, but on their currencies in general. And now that's just coming to the digital realm of things, and we're living through that. Like, at this post from Algorand the other day, they talk about staking rewards, and they talk about no lockup time, real-time rewards. Yeah, like just earning, the idea of just earning every second of every single day is great.
Yeah.
Like, Folks Finance is going to be huge, by the way. That sits on Algorand.
I will look into them a bit. I want to learn a bit about them.
Yeah, it's a beautiful built out DeFi platform where you can liquid stake your Algorand. They got liquidity pools with Algorand.
That term has me so happy.
Precious metals as well that you can pair up with Algorand and earn yield on.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What about Stellar? Have you guys seen anything in their DeFi ecosystem with precious metals or anything like that?
Stellar X. So the Stellar X platform, you could do the precious metal either gold or silver with XLM and wrapped XLM.
Okay.
So there was like 10 different liquidity pools that sits on the Stellar X platform. So yeah.
Dude, Matt Riley, shout out to you. Just said I've been making $20 a day on average, and I'm super excited about that. That is more than most people at a 9-to-5 job make. Like, it's as hard as that is to believe, like, it's crazy. There's some people out there, especially in California, that work in the fields all day that make $20 a day, and you're doing it passively with DeFi. Think about that. Okay, so the thing that I craft and that I try to orient people's attention towards is building a strategy now with smaller portions of income. Again, I'm not telling you guys to go out there and deploy in DeFi, but right now you shouldn't be skeptical. Now should be your testing phase. Now should be your education and your accumulation phase, seeing what works, what strategies work, what don't, being able to stomach and accept the risk. Obviously, of course, I'm not telling anybody to go get involved. I'm just saying, if you do get involved, be mature about it. Understand that right now, the DeFi ecosystem and what you're going to be used to now is going to be different from 3, 4, 5 years from now. But now is the time to get comfortable with it. Now is not the time to be like, oh, I don't want to get involved because I'm going to lose money. For me personally, I took some capital that I had and I was like, you know what? I'm willing to play around with this, teach myself DeFi, and hopefully, obviously, of course, through strategy and a mature approach, actually make money. And I've been able to successfully do that. And it's been extremely beneficial. But because I took a mature approach, I didn't take an overnight get rich quick mindset approach. And myself and these other two gentlemen sitting next to me are living, breathing proof that that is possible. And so now is that mindset shift that you need to have, where if, again, you have dormant capital, or maybe you don't, and you have no capital to deploy, but you're still interested in it, don't hesitate to just go and learn what's possible. Because Matt just said he's making $20 a day. Well, what if Matt becomes a multi-millionaire after this next bull market cycle? He now knows that he doesn't have to sell his digital assets, or that if he does, he can take a large percentage of his digital assets, like $100,000 or $500,000 or something, and deploy that in the same DeFi ecosystem that was making him money when he had small amounts of money, and maximize his capital efficiency. Right. And he's testing out strategies now, albeit it's probably with smaller amounts of money than it will be for Matt in the future. He's getting used to the process now. So that way, when he has more capital to deploy, he's comfortable with it, and boom, he can go straight into the DeFi ecosystem, plug away, start earning, hopefully securely, insured, right? Things of that nature, all these things, strategy, risk mitigation we have to employ over time. But he's going to be ahead of the curve compared to somebody who in 5 years from now is just getting into DeFi for the first time, because 5 years ago, they were denying it, calling it a scam. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's facts.
The saying is, like, when you first get into crypto, you know, become your own bank. Essentially, you have to tap into what the banks are doing. You saw the that little snippet that you had shown that says the banks are here. You know,
Lending,
can you hear me? Is that
borrowing,
good?
you know what I mean? So being your own bank is not putting your digital assets on a cold storage wallet. That's not what being your own bank is all about. It's about being able to, you know, get your own loans with your digital assets, get, you know, earn yield, liquid staking. I mean, there's just so many different ways.
Pay for things, all kinds of stuff.
There's so many different ways that you can get your digital assets working for you, that that's not what be your own bank was all about.
You know what I think is going to be pretty cool? It's like, this is the way that I think of it. Like, if me and you are utilizing USDC or something in the future for payments, like maybe we create a business together or something like that. And what we can do with that capital is, if I pay you or you pay me, or we can do this in the now, is I can take that money and instantly start to earn yield on it. Like, I think that is so powerful.
Yeah.
That's so powerful that our money could be working for us 24/7. Actually, as a matter of fact, I've heard individual investors and large people from, like, for example, Pantera Capital, where they've openly said on stage that if you have money and it's not earning you yield, what do you have it for?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, you only live once. I mean, you know, that can kind of sound a little immature, but at the end of the day, you know, we don't know the time and day. You know what I mean? So why not get your digital assets completely working for you? Get your money completely working for you right now in the now.
Or at least learn how to do it.
Yeah.
But honestly, though, like, just as an investor myself now in real estate and in DeFi as well, when I say this, don't quote me wrong when I say passive income, like just money coming in passively. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about money coming in without you necessarily needing to intervene with it. You know what I'm saying? Like as a real estate investor, I want my money working for me, and I want to be able to passively earn, where I can be of the business, not necessarily in the business itself.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because owning a business comes with its own set of chores and things that you have to attend to when you have a business. So.
A lot, man. Being an entrepreneur is insane. I thought that being an entrepreneur was going to give me more time. That should give me less time.
but with that time,
but enjoyable.
But with that time, though, what I'm learning now, the three of us here, know what we're like. This is a business trip. Straight up, this is a business trip.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like this can happen now, and I can write this off. This is legit.
It's a full circle that this is a business trip, bro. It's crazy that 2 years ago, you came to me. You were like, "Yo, should I start?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro. Throw on a mask, run it, dude." And now we're here. It's really cool to see things really materialize in this digital reality that we're headed into. And it's actually really cool to actually network with people and turn the digital form of yourselves into this physical, tangible reality.
Yeah.
It's almost, in a sense, rejuvenating. Like it's refreshing meeting you guys in person.
Yeah, it's nostalgic. It's like a good old feeling. It's like, I remember this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and dude, there hasn't been a quiet moment. Like when we were in the freaking store just now and we made those ladies' days, bro. Yeah. Just by talking to them and just enlightening them and having a deeper conversation than check out and get on with it. It's cool, the energy that we provide. All right. Well, anyways, it's we're going on about an hour and 45 minutes on this call. I'm done with some of the info that I had to share with you guys today, but I appreciate you guys for tapping in, all the viewers and listeners. I mean, what did you guys want to say to anybody before we hop off here?
Oh, you want to come off now? Okay. I don't know if I have anything to say.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tapping in. I really do appreciate the love and the support each of you guys share for each and every single one of us. Keep your head ups out there. At the end of the day, even if we do experience short-term price fluctuations, look at the granular scheme of things and understand that this market, no matter which way you cut, slice, or deviate your way through it, looking back 5 years from now, you could have really dropped the ball and effed this up, or you could really come up in the now by pursuing education, taking a mature approach, understanding risk properly, getting fundamentally driven, meaning you tap into the things, the drivers that actually make price fluctuations in this market, not all the bullish bull crap, Fibonacci price predictions that are just garbage out there. And you tap into real good information and research, like the information that these gentlemen here sitting next to me share, and I myself. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Everybody else, blessings to you all.
Do you mind if I say something, sir?
Run it, dude.
In doing what you're talking about there and setting yourself up in this crypto space itself, it's a lot of work, like a lot of good work too, because you learn so much on how to preserve your wealth is the term, how to have that wealth continue to work for you, I just finished setting up a will, myself and my wife. And so when I pass away, there's like trigger mechanisms now that can exist where that crypto asset can be passed on to her children, my nephews and nieces. And, you have to do due diligence on and learning about how to preserve your wealth in terms of not even just that. You can set up trust. You can also, open corporations as well. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go deep into that because that's not my specialty. But I mean, you can do things to mitigate your risks. I mean, you don't just want to pull out, as Cypress was saying, pull out money into, sell your digital asset, pull out into fiat. You're in a sinking ship at that point. There's better options, better things to do. There's ways to mitigate your risk. You have to do homework on this, legit, a lot of homework on this.
2024 was a really good year for growth. Like a lot of people thought that this year was going to be it for Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely it. For some altcoins, it was definitely it. There was a handful of altcoins that performed extremely well this year, a lot more than the vast majority of them. But now is the opportune moment to really recalibrate yourself, fixate your goals and your vision on success long-term and not be so short-sighted, blindsiding yourself, honest to God, if you're short-minded and only have a year outlook. If you're going to survive in this market, before we go, maybe we could each just give some word of advice to people listening in. But again, when I say advice, you know what I mean, tread carefully, not financial advice. But my advice would be to just really embrace this into your everyday life. Like investing into crypto, if you want to become successful in it, or any financial endeavor or any endeavor in life in general, it has to not necessarily consume you, but you have to be committed to devoting time to it. That's not just benefiting you. You have to contribute an equal amount of energy to what it is that you want to benefit from in order for it to benefit for you. So if you want to make money from this market, you have to give something to the market in order to do that, whether that's in the form of sacrifice via time that you put in to study the markets. The markets aren't just going to give you something because you want money from the markets. You have to love these markets. You have to understand them. You have to understand what creates demand for these markets, what does not, what things create a risk off market mood. So that way you're not trading against the order flow of these institutions. You have to care about what you're doing. If you don't care about crypto and all you care about is making money, you will get burned. These markets will know in some way, shape, or form, and it will take your money because you're not taking a mature approach, an approach that says, I'm a mature investor, and I want to learn everything about these markets that I possibly can, not just how to make money. Making money is the easy part, but maintaining a solid mentality in market downturns, being able to stomach volatility, managing your risk properly, managing a portfolio properly long-term, securing your money that you have in this space, it's a freaking skill. It's not something that you can just come in because you watched a YouTube video and think that you know it all. You have to really put in everyday practice in some way, shape, or form to gather up this skill set that you bring in the form of an edge in the market that's actually going to reflect in a rising equity curve in your portfolio. And the people that take that approach, you will come out on top. The people that don't and think that I just rambled about bullshit, I won't see you here in 5 years. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and if you miss that window, you're going to miss it completely. I don't think there's going to be another window. Right now, yeah, we're early, but once we're not anymore, and it's going to be too late. So that window will be closed. So, you know, the time is now to tap in with this information and to really apply yourself, you know. So, you know.
I agree, because I think in about 5 years' time, the space is going to be so convoluted with all these new D apps and whatever to keep people occupied that they'll miss what's actually going on at the lower layers, as opposed to entering certain things that they shouldn't, you know?
100%.
100%. Absolutely. All right. Well, yeah, blessings to you guys. We might be on live again tomorrow afternoon, but we really do appreciate the love and the support. If you're my follower, go follow these two gentlemen on X, YouTube. If you're their followers, go give me a follow on X and YouTube. We really do appreciate all the love and the support. Just to cover real fast what we talked about today for all you individuals that tapped in late, we were talking about institutional DeFi. We confirmed for a fact that institutions are coming to DeFi. They're interested in it. They're learning about it. They're deploying into it right now behind the scenes as we speak. And we're about to see and live through a massive transformational shift. Not to think so short-sighted and immediate instant gratification mindset needs to be put in the back end, and fixate your attention on growing and expanding your wealth now. But not only that, keeping and maintaining it after the next bull market cycle digitally. Right? We know that we're headed into a digital environment where in the near future, everything that we understand about this physical reality is going to start to deteriorate over time, and it's going to migrate into this digital realm. If you fight that, if you don't think that that is a reality for you, again, I'm not going to argue with you, debate, do your research, because I can 110% guarantee you that for each and every single one of us, the future that the reality that we live in now is going to be 10 times different in the future in which we're headed into. And if you don't adapt, if you don't transform with this transformation, that it's going to leave you behind. And that's just a fact. And so again, to each his own. We're just here in the form of pumping out valuable information and education that you guys can tap into that isn't really mainstream. And I know it might be boring at sometimes or whatever the case may be, but it's juicy stuff. So tap into the communities that we've built for you guys to really tap into this valuable information, giving people access, especially in a CyberX community that no retail trader on the face of the internet has access to. Same thing with Mr. Mann's research and the community that he's built and the millionaires that he has in his community. Tap in. At the end of the day, these are the people that are going to prevail in the next, not only bull market cycle, but after the next cycles to come. All right. So blessings to you guys. Be cognizant, be aware out there. Anything else we have, both?
Much love, everybody.
All right. Blessings to you guys.